Hey, everybody. How are you doing?
Congressman Paul Ryan's town meetings in this mostly rural district are normally intimate affairs.
Unfortunately, they are at capacity.
But this week, constituents from Twin Lakes to Kenosha are being turned away as capacity crowds inside come to praise or condemn the plan Ryan likes to call the path to prosperity.
Your plan screws the next 2 generations.
Ryan, who chairs the House Budget Committee, is trying to convince these mostly older audiences that Medicare for future generations should be replaced with subsidies that would partly pay for private insurance. And he's trying to make an even harder sell that in an era of growing income disparity, taxes for corporations and wealthy Americans should be lowered.
There's nothing wrong with taxing the top because it does not trickle down. We do tax the top.
It's a clash playing out in town meetings across the country this week.
Not one senior citizen is harmed by this budget.
What? You're a liar!
Do you think that you would be getting more support out there if you didn't include this big tax cut for the wealthy as part of your plan?
We're not doing that. So we're not agreeing with the president's tax increases. So the new definition of
35 to 25% is a big cut.
In exchange for losing their tax shelters.
But the protests here and there don't bother Ryan.
Now, we all know that Paul Ryan's budget would cut taxes for the wealthy and end Medicare as we know it. Today, he essentially called this budget dishonest. What's your reaction to that?
Who in their right minds could support a proposal which says more tax breaks for the wealthiest people, and yet we're going to cut Medicare and Medicaid in drastic form? That makes no sense to anyone I know.
Here's Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor today.
The President's goal isn't to solve our problems, but to ignore them for another year, which will only ensure that they get even worse. Once again, the President is shirking his responsibility to lead by using this budget to divide us.
We can, and we want to make sure that we continue to move the country in a new direction and focus on the change that people asked for when they elected President Obama. The change that they don't want, and the type of policy they don't want, is Mr. Ryan's proposal to privatize Social Security and pull the rug out from under senior citizens and get rid of the security that they have, or turn Medicare into a voucher program, which is also part of the book that he and Eric Cantor just put out that they're touring the country promoting right now. And those 2 items, because they're unpopular, weren't in the pledge to America today, because that's not something that they think that they can get elected on. They're just going to try to sneak that in the back door if they somehow take the
She makes a fair point, Congressman. She makes a fair point. Some of the recommendations you personally have made, and you have a few supporters in the House of Representatives among the Republicans. We're pointedly missing in this document a pledge to America. Why?
Right, well, because I put out a budget plan to get the consensus of one person in Congress, me. I didn't put out a budget plan to get the consensus of a majority of Congress. But here's the point, what I was trying to get with this plan. I was trying to get this discussion about entitlements and our debt crisis at an adult level. Clearly, that's not happening. And I'd like to get to an adult-level conversation, but apparently we're not having that these days. An
adult-level conversation to invest Social Security in Wall Street. If that had happened in the last couple of years, Paul, you would have ended the protections that people have in their twilight of their life.
I want to give younger people the option of having the same retirement you and I have, Debbie, if they want it or not.
Then we need to reform Social Security, not yank the rug out from under them. Investing in the stock market is a risky gamble.
If it's good for you and me and our families, why isn't it good for everybody else in this country?
It's certainly not good for senior citizens or for the next generation to preserve Social Security.
All right.
That will end
Social Security. I'm actually saving Social Security according to the actuaries of Social Security.
Not if you look at the track record of Wall Street in the last few years. I think if we campaign together around the country, people would be looking at our view much more supportively.
Liability, you wouldn't even be in the stock market when you're retiring. Look, if it's good for us in Congress, why isn't it good enough for everybody else? I mean, look, we should have
our Social Security is the same as everybody else's in the entire country, and you know it.
It's a pleasure to be here for the 14th time together. I brought with me some certificates of congressional recognition to Al, to Ola, to be here as part of this ceremony to respect and honor their achievements. Thank you.
This is for the kids. This is for the kids.
Not accept the award from Paul Ryan. Because Paul Ryan is a lackey for the 1%.
Recipient and the Gateway Technical College Humanitarian Award as one of the 3 recipients. I pledge to redouble my efforts in the struggle for social and economic justice.
And Paul Ryan had no business at a Martin Luther King event. It's totally hypocritical. On the one hand, he cuts to slash health care, while on the other hand, King dedicated his life, and he died for people to have adequate health care, to have adequate jobs. It was very, very hypocritical for him to even go to the event. And it proved it out by what he said. He had absolutely nothing to say.
And simply want to say this. It's our job in the wake of these forefathers, the people who are marked with history as standing in front and making the American idea more perfect. There are no people who...
King made it very clear that he was on the side of working people. Ryan, on the other hand, he has absolutely no affinity for the working class. And for him to come to an event where somebody of King's stature is being honored is wrong.
Hello, I'm John Boehner.
They're doing it again. Remember when they tried to privatize Social Security by risking your money in the stock market?
Now, this is nowhere near enough, but it's a clear change in direction.
Now they want to eliminate Medicare and turn it over to insurance companies. They would give retirees a coupon to buy their health insurance from a private insurance company.
What we are proposing is a personalized Medicare, personalized Medicare, personalized Medicare.
Personalized Medicare? How about no more Medicare? Seniors would be at the mercy of insurance companies. They say they'd give you a government voucher to help pay for your premiums. It would be like giving you a $50 coupon to go out and buy a car. Do you really believe scrapping Medicare is in your best interest?
That hasn't happened yet today.
Are they kidding? Tell them to keep their hands off your Medicare.
The president attacks Republican Congressman Paul Ryan's radical plan to cut spending, cut taxes, and not even come close to balancing the budget for about 70 years.
Look, here's the central fact of the Medicare program. Democrats create it and support it. The Republicans don't. They showed us that last year when we had a bill that would extend its life expectancy by 10 years, and not a single one of them voted for it. Now they have their budget on the table, and what does it do? It ends Medicare. Plain and simple. It says to seniors in the future, we're going to give you a coupon and allow you to go and shop around as best you can. What I said was factually correct. When we had a chance to expand Medicare and extend it by 10 years, every Republican voted no. And the irony is this. They yelled at the top of their lungs and lied through their teeth saying that Democrats wanted to slash Medicare. Now what are they doing? I'm going to say something now that is factually true and Mr. Kingston cannot deny. Under Ryan's plan, which apparently Mr. Kingston supports, we end Medicare as a guaranteed program for seniors. That's the simple facts. If you don't like it, Mr. Kingston, vote no.
Anthony, you know that the Ryan plan transforms it to put market forces in there, and I know you don't like the free market.
What does transform it mean? What does that English mean?
What it does is it takes it to a voucher program so that seniors can get out. And by the way, we're talking about people under 55 years old. Medicare as we know it will not exist because...
This vision is less about reducing the deficit than it is about changing the basic social compact in America. Ronald Reagan's own budget director said there's nothing serious or courageous about this plan. There's nothing serious about a plan that claims to reduce the deficit by spending $1 trillion on tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. And I don't think there's anything courageous about asking for sacrifice from those who can least afford it and don't have any clout on Capitol Hill.
Medicare as we know it will not exist.
It ends Medicare.
That's what the people...
But wait, is it nonsense? This Ryan plan for Medicare, this plan that this man has, is to give seniors, to get rid of Medicare as we have known it, give seniors a $15,000 voucher to buy Medicare, which probably does not cover the health cost for a lot of seniors, not to mention what insurance company is going to want to sell insurance to a 75-year-old sick person. So is Alan Grayson really that off the mark
when he
says,
the mark. Yes, he's
what happens when you run out of the 15,000? You get sick and die.
It's rationing of care. It's off the mark because
it's rationing.
It's off the mark is because that's not what the American people want or expect, whether it's from John Kyle or President Obama or anyone else.
Don't put President Obama in the same comment with that statement. Come on.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
The president himself is engaged in hyperbolic language.
Just tell me
this is my point, but this is the broader point. You don't want to focus on that because you like the applause line and the gag line. But
wait a minute.
But this is the
you
fact.
can find a comment. Wait a minute.
Ed, let me
I'm going to defend the president.
Oh, please.
President Obama has never made a comment that would compare to that garbage.
I'm not saying that it absolutely compares to that. Ed, what I'm saying is, if you just take a moment and bring it down a notch, okay, is simply this, that the American people, if you look at and listen to what people said in 2010, all right, leading up to the election, is that they're tired of all the same old political rhetoric. They're tired of the same games. They want to see the change that was promised in whatever form they think it should come to them.
We did get change.
But they want, again, that's the crux of the debate here.
I'm just asking, what happens to a person? What happens to a person if this plan is enacted who uses the $15,000, which, by the way, if they're in an assisted living facility, they'll go through it in 3 months. You know, what happens to them? What do they do when they use up the $15,000 by this time of the year?
They get inferior care.
What happens for the rest of the year? What happens to them?
They're SOL.
Rude.
What happens? I'm just asking.
We don't know yet because...
That's right. We don't know.
All right.
Here's the thing.
I put out a very comprehensive plan rewriting the healthcare system, Medicare, Social Security, our entire tax system.
I think it'd be marvelous if the Senate were to pick up Paul Ryan's budget and to adopt it.
The Paul Ryan Medicare plan turns Medicare into a voucher system.
The Paul Ryan budget, which cuts aid to the disabled, which cuts aid to the immigrants' children, which cuts aid to the elderly,
would cut Pell Grants for college students by $170 billion and cut off 1 million students over the next decade.
The cuts in here are so dramatic. They are so painful.
It gives a $4.3 trillion tax cut to the wealthiest in this country.
So if Mitt Romney became president of the United States, you're convinced he would follow through with a lot of the reductions that you make?
Yes.
I applaud it. It's an excellent piece of work and very much needed.